Welcome to How It All Started podcast. I'm your host, and my name is Erick Nganyange, and my guests today are the owners of 3 on the Tree coffee shop in Mason City, Nyle and Lindsay. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming.
No problem. So how long it usually takes you guys after you close?
Just depends.
I would say an hour average.
Yeah, average, yeah.
Today we started early because we knew we had this going on, but usually probably like an hour cleanup.
Oh, yeah. And you guys open up 7 days a week.
Correct.
When do you guys take a break for yourself?
Well, we had a part-timer that was working 1 day a week for us, and that was our day off together. Otherwise, we'd kind of flip-flop ourselves. She would take a day, I'd take a day. Usually midweek, slower days. That's becoming harder to do. But we just hired another part-timer because our original one left. So we're getting that day back. We were without it for the holidays pretty much, which is so far we found out the busiest time of the year.
It's the holiday?
Yeah, it's the holiday.
Oh, yeah, because this is the first holiday for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, I was here as manager last holiday season, but obviously it was nothing compared to this holiday season.
When you own.
Yeah, own and we advertised and expanded and, everything we, offer. So.
You guys took the business back in March?
Yeah, March 4th of 2023 was our first day as owner.
Why did you guys want to do a coffee shop business?
Well, I was here, like I said, as manager before. Yeah. And when I first originally started working here, the previous owner was like, oh, you should just buy the place, because she was kind of just ready to be done with it. And at that time, I was single, and so I didn't really have a support system. And I was like, I don't know anything about this business. Let me just do the manager thing for a while. I was kind of leaving like a comfortable full-time job to come work here. And I was like, I can't jump from a comfortable full-time job to owning a business, having no idea what goes into that. And then I did manager here for about 2 years. During that time was when we met, and we both just kind of had that same ambition to like have something more than just 2 full-time jobs.
Okay.
Definitely, it was both of us that wanted to just own something of our own and like work hard for ourselves instead of for somebody else.
Now, you coming from construction?
Yeah. I mean, I did tires for 10 years, changed tires for 10 years, and then I did construction, framing, and roofing and stuff, but then I worked in factories as well. I was just always a hard worker, manual labor.
So this kind of was a little bit different for you
for sure.
To get on the service industry.
This was definitely nothing I was ever expecting to do, becoming like a barista, kind of a baker here and there.
Come on, we know who's the baker.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
The boss.
So then it was like probably around the first of the year, which it really was kind of a crazy time because we just bought our house last November, and we started to think about it, and we knew what we could turn this into. He actually, last summer for when Ragbri was in town, I was kind of scheduled to work here alone, and I was like, oh, it's probably going to be busy, come help me. And so we did that together, and it kind of gave us an idea of like what we really could turn this into. And we started talking more and more, like Mason City doesn't have a bakery. They have retail stores where you can get baked goods. There's no walk in on Saturday morning and get a dozen cinnamon rolls for your family. And we were like, we could do this. And we definitely went back and forth. We're like, we're scared. What's going to happen? And so started talking to the previous owner about it. We're like, let's just see what she wants for it, And when she came back with that information, we were pleasantly shocked at the price. Asking price. And we were like,
let's do it.
But we kind of looked at it as like, it's like the cost of like a cheap house or like buying a car. Fails, we pay off the loan and we walk away. So we're like, let's just do it.
So the former owner, was that Katie?
Katie,
was that her name? So she presented an idea to you.
Yes.
And you sat there and you ran to him like, hey, we can do this.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
What was your thought when she brought that up?
Well, I mean, it was kind of... She brought it up to me, yes, and I was just always excited to do something like that. I mean, I've always wanted to be... I wanted the support,
Yeah.
We matched each other's energy on it. I mean, the scary part is just going in full bore yourselves, you know. I mean, I was excited. Why not, The price was right and everything, so we were just like, we can just go back if we don't make it.
And we also saw the numbers before, and so it definitely was the business was surviving but not thriving, and so there was that risk of what if we can't grow it? What if we can't build from where it is now and we don't have enough to pay the bills?
Yeah.
That's that was a huge fear.
That's scary, especially when you leave your cushy job
Right.
and
Definitely didn't want
everything
to
comfortable.
just scrape
And
by.
actually, at first, when we first bought the business, he stayed at his full-time job, and he stayed there for three or 4 months.
Okay.
Until it got to the point almost where he couldn't keep that job anymore because we were getting so busy.
Yeah.
That it was either
Especially
we're
weekends,
because
because I was working weekend packages.
Oh, so
That's
you were
why-
coming helping on the weekends and
Well,
you
He worked his other job on the weekends. He worked
Oh.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why we ended up doing it as well, because I had a job that was a weekend package. It was full-time, 3 days. And
Yeah.
I had 4 days off to,
Oh,
devote
so
to
on your
this.
4 days off, you're here.
Yeah.
Right. But then the
Don't-
weekend days here started to get so,
So busy because
Yes.
that's the time when a lot of people showing
Yep.
up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, well, do we want to hire someone to pay, or are we in a place where this can support both of us and our need? And so that wasn't long after we bought it.
How afraid were you to quit your job at that time?
Not at all.
Not at
I
all?
was,
Oh,
I think
wow.
I was more worried than
Oh,
he
yeah?
was. Because we talked about it, and he kept saying, I can quit, I could quit, I could
Yeah.
quit. And I'm like, oh, it's nice to know we have that paycheck.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that if the business starts doing poorly, you're still going to get a paycheck every week,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
We just started thinking, I worked in Cedar Falls, and so we were thinking, I'm paying gas, I'm paying wear and tear in my car. I mean, now we carpool. We get here, same time
Yeah.
every day.
Where you guys live?
Green.
Green? Oh, okay.
Green, Iowa,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, Green is not. I mean, it's far, but it's not too crazy.
Yeah, it's like, and we're right about in the middle between here and Cedar Falls. So
Yeah.
it's about 40 minutes either
Each way.
direction.
You guys thinking about moving to Mason?
I lived in Mason before. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Our kids, 5 kids, all in the school district there, and it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
change that.
I
now.
lived in Mason
True.
when him and I met, and I wanted to get my kids into a smaller town. So.
So how you guys met?
Well, I added her on Facebook. That was about it. And
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She is very, consistent.
Persistent.
Persistent. Yeah.
Persistent.
Here's what actually happened.
Yeah.
So we had probably like 65 mutual friends on Facebook, but somehow didn't know each other.
Yeah.
He actually used to work with my sister, used to hang out with my brother. We
Oh,
did
really?
not know each other at all. So I actually had gone on what was supposed to be a date and got stood up. And that same night, I got a friend request on Facebook. And so I see one of our mutual friends is one of my close friends, and I messaged her, and I was like, who is this
Yeah,
person?
do you know him?
And she's like, well, he liked your photo, so he must be interested, And so then I waited till the next day to see if he was going to, slide into my messages. He did not. So then I messaged him. We chatted a little, and I was like, okay, I'll leave the ball in his court. A week goes by, still nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to message
The guy's
him again.
busy. Yeah.
It was my
Well,
birthday. It was my son's birthday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I came up with that excuse anyway.
So then I messaged him again, and then we really just kind of started talking from there. And yeah, we hit it off super fast. And
Oh, good. And you guys are owning business together.
yep, it was less than a year after
Oh,
actually
really?
we got together that we bought
Wow.
this business.
That's a lot of trust.
Yep. Bought a
Yeah.
house, bought a business. Yep.
Oh, man. What's the name 3 on the Tree, man?
This was a auto dealership,
Okay.
auto body place.
Okay, because that's what, when I was looking, I saw it was talking about like 3 gear and 1 reverse,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that.
So
Yeah.
it was called Hart Brothers, and it was like I believe Chrysler, Dodge, and Plymouth
Okay.
dealership way back in the 50s. And then after that, it was Culligan, like the water softener. And then the building sat empty for I don't know how many years, but it was quite a few. The building owner, Katie, who's also the previous owner of the coffee shop, when she bought it, we've seen pictures, it was like in complete disrepair, like falling down. And she has slowly like renovated every bit of the building from top to bottom. And there's actually like those garage lights that we have up there are original to that auto dealership. When they renovated, they found 2 sets of them. One was able to be restored.
I saw the date on them. I think it said
1903,
1903 on those.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And there's also like back in the back of the building, there's old like hoist systems for lifting cars up that are still intact. There's an elevator that's original to the building, and
Okay.
So the original owner wanted to keep the history of the building.
Oh, okay.
so auto theme.
3 on the Tree is an old shifter knob. And they only made it for a few years, but
Yeah. And you guys are planning to keep the name?
oh, yes.
The same?
Yes.
Okay.
I love getting the question, honestly, because, people wonder. To have a coffee shop name that, I think it has people like, ooh, that sounds
Yeah.
interesting. And obviously, it's not like a franchised place, when you just see it on Google or anything. So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you guys would say, like, your strength and weakness when it comes to run business? How do you guys feed off each other?
well, we're just.
Who got the best customer service? Like somebody who likes constant to talk to people.
I would say I take the cake on that one.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
and I
she's-
think what that mostly is just that I kind of have like resting bitch face. So sometimes I'm in the zone. Like I'm just doing stuff or I'm baking or whatever, and somebody will be talking to me and I will give them like a good morning, but it doesn't necessarily seem super like friendly per se, but it's just because I'm busy, you know, and he's more of a small talk guy. He'll stand there and BS with someone where I'm just like, I got stuff to do.
But most of the time I get along with every customer and I enjoy doing that. And I think it keeps people coming back. And,
Yeah, customer service is everything. Who's more business oriented? She is?
She would be, I mean, because...
I keep track of the details.
I would say the books and all that. She's just very smart, very on top of things, very organized. I mean, it's not like I couldn't do it, but she's just so good at it. Yeah. You know, it's just, why would I? I mean, I just am there to help with anything she has, you know.
Okay, so
for the most part, he kind of handles a lot of the front side. Like, for example, we get our big coffee shipment, and he'll organize that and make it look all nice. And he does, like, he'll Windex all the glass and keep the case looking nice and fix things and put stuff in its place, you know, stuff like that. And
I, you know, up here working while she bakes, you know. And I think when it comes to business owning, I think we both have the same drive and like speed, movement, you know, everything about us is just, we work well together. And I think people see that, and I think they love to see that, honestly.
I think customer can see it quickly if there's a conflict.
And there's a little bit of that too.
Yeah, and I think there's nothing wrong with that because you guys are a couple, so people...
Right.
Yeah.
We're literally together pretty much every single day. There, you know, there's not a whole lot of days that we're not together.
Yeah, so we don't... If you guys telling us you don't fight at all, we're going to say, like, okay, now we know you're lying.
Well...
How you guys deal with that, though? It's because conflict is always going to be there in a relationship. How do you deal with that? Because I'm always wondering about that with the people who work together. Let's say you got in a fight the night before. You got to open up the shop the next morning. And you still have, because I usually have that. It's like the fight is over, but I still have that residual in me. It's not really all the way out. So I'm not real ready to
hang out with you and be...
No. How do you kick that out?
We are definitely forced to deal with it. I mean, if that's the case, because we got to get up.
It's easier when we're at home to be like, I don't need to look at you or talk to you. Go do your own thing. It's definitely easier at home. I also think, too, we really are still pretty new in our relationship. So we're still learning how to communicate with each other in a lot of ways. I am a blunt person. A lot of times I say something, it comes across in a way that I do not intend it at all. And so he's having to learn how to know that I'm not always upset or angry. I'm literally just saying what's on my mind. It just comes out. I think I'm also trying to learn, like, okay, I need to say things in a way that he doesn't feel like that, you know. So we're still figuring that out. But if we come to work salty with each other about something, we just have a couple like tense hours where we just do what we need to do, and then usually one of us gets over it and just starts being nice again.
I'm a 24-hour grudge kind of person. Next day I want to, you know, give you a hug.
How your kids feel? Because now you probably work long hours than
sometimes
you used to.
Well, I mean, we do come home every night. We get to eat supper every night together. You know, we're there right after school, do homework, and she cooks supper every night. We sit around the table, enjoy that. There's days when they're like, oh, finally you're home.
Yeah, and not every night is, I mean, we don't have a ton of late nights. Like during the week when we're both here, we get home, you know, by 4:30, 5 o'clock. So it's not much different than like a normal regular job.
And especially if they're in school at that time, they just probably got back.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We do try to do supper at home every night with the kids.
Yeah, summer's a little different just because, well, we've dealt with one summer here. And the kids are getting older, but we brought her daughters in because they're a little more interested in like working,
baking, and doing all that stuff. Oh, okay.
And I think my boys will get there, you know, like maybe as in
they're still just younger boys who really don't care.
Yeah, they're just like, you own a coffee shop, cool.
Yeah.
No,
they don't know how big deal that is.
Yeah.
My oldest is 15, and she likes earning money because she's 15. So she'll come and she kind of knows how to run the register and some of the front stuff. And so she'll come once in a while and make a little, you know, I can just, you know, throw her $20. She comes here and helps me. But my second daughter, she's 10. She'll be 11 soon. Yeah. She likes to cook and bake. And so I'll bring her on a baking day, kind of show her how to make a recipe, and she'll, you know, help me do some of that stuff.
Is this both of you guys the first business you ever owned?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, so you probably changed the family tree too. Your kids probably watching this and it's like, oh,
well, and
we can do this.
that's kind of why I think we both strive to become a business owner or had that dream in a way, I guess, because we grew up watching our parents kind of struggle, I guess you'd say. And yeah, I just feel like...
So are you guys the first generation in your family to own business?
Well, see, no, I mean, my dad, he owned a business, but he royally messed that up for sure, you know. So it's just, I've seen it, but I've also seen what not to do. And I think that's what kept us straight. And
I definitely think it's fair to say that we're both first generation to be like setting our kids up for success.
Exactly. And that's,
you know,
that was a huge goal for us.
Both of us came from backgrounds where we so easily could have gone the other direction.
Yeah. What do you mean about that?
Well, like speaking for myself, like my mom is 60 years old and hasn't ever had a job where she's building a retirement. You know, I grew up super poor. Like we didn't have a house phone, we didn't have internet, we didn't, you know, we were just poor. We lived from rental to rental to rental. We never owned a house my whole childhood. We moved a ton. I went to like 9 different schools.
Oh, really?
Up.
Wow.
So I just knew that like I wanted my kids to have all the things I never had. I wanted, if my child wants to go out for sports, yes, you can do that because I have the money to pay for whatever you need.
Stable lifestyle. We can go to the grocery store and buy them anything.
Anything they want,
Even though we, you know, obviously
we were just talking about how even like, you know, 10 years ago when we were like in our early to mid 20s, you know, maybe we were going to like host Christmas and it would be like, oh, I have to save money out of my paycheck to buy the stuff I need to host Christmas.
Yeah, it's like this paycheck is Christmas gifts and then we got to pay for rent soon. So
and that's how we both grew up too. Now, you know, it's nice to know that we're giving our kids all those things that we didn't have.
Yeah.
Because your kids going to see completely something different.
And I feel like they've seen a little bit of, you know, just because we were young, had our kids. So it's nothing like, I guess they're just only seeing us succeed. I think they've seen us, you know, struggle a little. But
which that's also good.
That is also good, I think.
Because sometimes when the kids just, all they see is pile of money. Like, hey, Dad, I need this. Mom, I need this. Here.
Well, and the younger kids don't really necessarily understand that as much. But like my 15-year-old, just the other day, we had gone to the grocery store and gotten some stuff. And we were putting it in the car. And she was like, you know, I'm really glad that you're my parents. She's like, I'm just really grateful that like we have a good car and we have a nice house. And
she started kind of appreciate. Yeah. She probably seen other kids how they live and this. This is better than
for sure.
That life.
For sure.
How did you guys deal with because there's one part of, I want to own my own business. And then you start telling friends, family members, and the naysayer. It's like, you want to do what?
Yeah. Well,
you really want to quit your job to do that.
And that's kind of talking about the family thing. As cheesy as this sounds, our customers have been our biggest support in this because we didn't have that from anyone else. Our families pretty much were kind of like, well, my sister, I guess, is very much on our team. But for the most part, I mean, we don't have any family standing behind us saying like, you guys got this, you know, you're going to do awesome. Well, we didn't have any of that. I mean, literally, our customers have been our biggest support.
A lot of skepticism when we told them, told any of them really. They were just like, oh, yeah.
And the real kicker was him quitting his other job.
And then quitting my other job.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
They're like...
And like, they don't live around here either. So to them, they're like, how are you making enough money for him to quit his job?
Kind of
you're going to quit a good job with the benefits.
Right. Yeah, it's not like they come out and say that, but you got that feeling. You know.
It's almost like the situation like somebody's not say something bad, but you wish they did. But it's like the energy but you can tell.
That's why we always say like if somebody's like, oh, I'm going to come see the coffee shop, come on a Saturday, you know, come in here when we have a line to the door and see that like we are succeeding.
How did you guys though deal with that? Because sometimes it's hard to brush it off everything, not let them get inside you. How do you, because at that moment, you guys just starting this, you have your doubts. Will this thing work? And there's nothing put you in more fear than the naysayer. It's like, oh, I told you.
Yeah.
Not going to work.
Well, I think patience is a hard thing. Because it's like, you sit there and you might have a slow day at first, is what, you know, when we first got the place. And it's just like, you do feel down for a second. But I feel like we really brushed it off rather well and rather quickly. Because it's just like, we believed in ourselves. We believed in our work ethic.
So did you guys play that with each other? Because sometimes you might be like, oh, this thing might fall.
And
she come through.
We were mostly on the same page.
No, I don't think we ever felt that drastic about it, I guess. I mean, there'd be a day where I'd be like, oh, we're kind of slow. And
Nyle
that's okay.
tends to sometimes kind of be more of a glass half empty and I'm glass half full because
That's
I'm
real
always
good.
like saying like
It's
I'm gonna
gonna work.
manifest this. I always say I'm like I'm manifesting this. We're gonna hit this milestone. We're gonna hit this goal.
She'll
and, you know,
definitely tell me to
That's
shut
real-
up.
that-
and
yeah, that's-
you're killing my
Because
vibe.
sometimes he'll be like, "Oh gosh, it's a slow Saturday," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Don't say that."
Yeah. So that's kind of good. You guys
Balance.
balance each
Yeah,
other's
we
out.
definitely communicate just about every little aspect of the business. So if anything gets brought up, even a customer's input, you know, we'll talk about it.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just like
sometimes
as in-
customer give you guys
Yeah.
input like,
and
oh,
we
can you?
we discuss everything
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Very rarely do either of us make a decision of any importance.
And it's
Yeah.
mostly just to benefit the business. It's just, you know, anything, we're flexible, and both of us is. So I think that's just the key.
The other thing-
especially us being a couple and a business owner
Yeah.
together.
When we very first bought it too, and we've kind of been like this about other like milestones together, we kind of like protect things a bit. Like, and I mean, we don't necessarily like blast what's going on in our life. Sometimes it's better, like, I feel we protect this a little bit until we feel safe in it.
And you're
before
talking
letting-
about personal life.
and business.
And the business,
yeah,
okay.
and like buying the
Yeah.
business. Because when something is brand new and all the negativity is coming in, it's easier to let it affect you. When you've been in something for a little bit, and even this was like with our relationship when we first met, we kept it pretty quiet a bit because I was like,
That's
I
smart.
want to know.
That's a smart thing to
I
do.
want to know where we stand before we let anybody else's opinion in. And it was the same with the business. We definitely, I mean, I don't think we were necessarily really bragging about it or broadcasting it too much. Like, let's figure this out and kind of find our place before we really let in anybody else's opinion.
Yeah, because in the beginning you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
exactly.
now you're at the place like you look at the comments, it's like, look at this guy. Yeah, so now it's probably you guys probably got your feet wet and you kind of know what's going on in the business. So it's like you can just read between the lines.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
this is straight up hate.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at our Google profile, we have all 4 and 5 star reviews, and then
Yeah.
there's one that's bad, and it's so clearly fake that it's just like, whatever.
It must be a personal thing, or we don't even know.
And as human being, we are so, no matter how we try to stay away from negativity, it's like you just say, Lindsay, you can have 200 good. That one person, you just hang on to that.
Yeah,
like,
because you know how many times we've talked about that one
Yeah.
review? I'm like, how do I get that? I like tried getting Google to remove it. Like, I don't want that on there.
and that's normal. I think that's kind of human nature. It's like when something
Exactly.
say something negative, it's like you hang on to that. It's
Yeah.
like, serious? How long you been baking?
My whole life. Yeah, my grandma baked and cooked and taught me everything I know.
Because your cheesecake is a problem. I'm telling you.
You never even get it anymore.
You know,
it's-
I'm slowing down. I
yeah.
think I got last
Yeah, you
week.
got it a week or
last
two ago.
week. I'm slowing down because
It was
boy.
a problem.
You're getting it every day. There's-
Yeah, and that's the thing. Because every time I'm at work, I'm sitting there. I'm like, I should get a cheesecake right now to
When
pick
you
my
s-
spirit up.
You know, we have names for people that come in.
Of course.
Yeah, so when
Of
you
course,
when you
every
very
business.
first started coming here, you were cheesecake guy.
You were cheesecake.
But now you are matcha guy. But now actually you're Eric because we know your name now.
Yeah.
But yeah, many customers whose names we don't know, we have
Yeah.
like little nicknames for them, like iced caramel latte guy or
Cold
whatever
brew
they
guy,
get.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you were cheesecake guy originally.
Yeah, your cheesecake is great. I mean, golly. What do you think? Because there's only 2 coffee shops in town. I'm not talking about the chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you guys and Jitters.
Jitters. Yep.
What separates you guys from them?
Well, when we first bought the business, my vision was to be a bakery. I want people to say, have you been to the bakery? Not have you been to the coffee shop? While we are going to continue to be a full service coffee shop, I want to be the bakery. And so that's kind of, I think, the
Interesting.
difference.
That's the
you know.
difference. Yeah.
Jitters isn't a bakery. They're a coffee shop. They have a little bit of baked good, but we really wanted to corner that market and be the bakery. And I think we're getting pretty damn close to that.
Interesting.
Because
Yeah, because you got a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
on
there's days when we sell more caramel rolls than a latte. A latte.
really?
So yeah, it's kind of crazy. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely one of each. We're a coffee shop, bakery. People come in here for just coffee. People come in here for just bakery. So,
You're gonna need to get in the kitchen, man. And start
I-
helping that
he
baker.
does help with some stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm also kind of like a perfectionist. So like, you're not doing that.
yeah.
Get on out of here.
You close the door.
And I'm also just very much like, okay, so Nyle is like, I need the recipe. Let me write it down. I need to follow it step by step. And I'm just like, I just put a little of this and a little.
Oh, are you that type?
I'm a,
Yeah, she definitely.
really?
what he refers to as like a natural cook.
And it works 100%.
I can literally just be like, let me look in the cupboards and see what we're gonna have for supper. And he's like online looking up a recipe in a grocery store, and I'm like, we got food here. Like, what? Come on,
She
we
can
got
make
plenty
something
of stuff.
out of nothing.
Oh, yeah?
And it's always good.
A friend of mine is like, his wife is like that. But the problem for him, he hates so much because it's like when she asks him, like, what do you want to eat tonight? Oh, that stuff you made a week ago. And she's like, I don't remember how I did it. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
I would
'Cause
say
he's like,
she
what did
does-
you put in this? And I'm like, I don't know, some of what we had and some of this other stuff.
The thing is, she makes chili, and it's different every time, but it's always good.
Always,
And
eh?
so it's like, I'm not going to complain. I'm not even going to say anything. I've gained 50 pounds.
But I think what I was getting at was, I think because I'm more of that like wing it type of like cook and baker, I can also get things done quicker because I'm not like having to worry about the recipe and measuring
Go
out
line
this.
by
And
line,
yeah,
yeah.
so I can be back there just like whipping things out and
And I think people can tell that when they come in here. They can just tell it's like a home cooked.
And that's important for,
Yes.
for us as customers because if yours is not different, I can go to Hy-Vee.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
no, we've had people say about many of our stuff like. We had a guy that was like, "This is better than my grandma's. Don't tell her that." And I'm like, "That's one of the highest compliments that I could ever."
yeah, because
receive.
you don't play with the grandma cooking.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So baking is your strength part of the coffee shop
Yeah,
and
I would say
business.
yes, for sure.
Dealing with customers.
I mean, dealing with customers
deal-
or just putting the work in. Like,
Yeah.
He does all the, we call it the man stuff.
Yeah.
Building
That's his
shelves
job.
and,
Yeah.
Yeah,
other
yeah.
things.
And like, I mean, the rope light all around, just the vibes coming in.
Yeah, when we got all the booths, he hauled them up from the basement.
Okay.
We love plants. We got about 100 plants at home and
Yeah.
100 here, so.
Yeah, because this you probably spend a lot of time here than home.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
We call this home sometimes.
Yeah,
sometimes we
just
get out of the
somebody
car
said-
and we're like, we're home.
Somebody said, "Oh, this is your second home." I'm like, "No, this is our first home."
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on the week, I guess.
What is your long-term goal?
Man, we don't know. I guess our long-term goal is to just continue
Keep growing.
this. Yeah. But there's nothing like that can say that we would be like, we wouldn't be doing this in 10 years,
Yeah.
I guess. But there's definitely a possibility that something comes up and
Right,
we're
we
like,
could get to a point where like, okay, so not necessarily saying long-term goal, but
Yeah.
like one of the things we've talked about is like moving somewhere warm. Maybe in 8 years
Yeah.
we've succeeded enough that that's possible. We can pass this on to the next
Somebody,
person
yeah.
who's going
and
to
it's
love
not
it.
even that.
Your kids are growing.
Well, it's not even that, and it's not even that we can't, do something wherever we go, and that's in the realm of possibility. Otherwise, it's, stay here, maybe.
And that's the beauty of it. If you go somewhere else, you duplicate what you already done.
And honestly, I'm not from around Mason City. I haven't been familiar with it up until this last year. Been here a few times in my life, pretty much.
Where are you origin from?
I graduated in Waverly, which is not far, but I went to Cedar Falls, Waterloo. I guess I grew up going that way. But I've kind of fallen in love with the downtown area. I like it's just beautiful, cool buildings, lots of statues. I like that.
And
So,
lots of cool people.
Yeah, lots of cool people.
Yeah,
exactly.
you will never meet me
Well,
if you didn't come to Mason
exactly,
City.
yeah. I mean,
And you would have never had my cheesecake.
There you go.
yeah, I mean, I can definitely see us doing something else around here as well.
Okay. That's
we
good.
really try to be involved with the community as much as possible.
Well, and I think too, a couple other things, like one of our, not necessarily long-term, but not necessarily short-term, is just like to keep this going and give our kids some awesome experiences along the way.
Yeah.
We already have something in the works for later next year that we're going to take them to do that is something neither of us ever thought would happen.
Okay. Nice.
And I also think, talking about the business specifically, potentially we would love to purchase our own building.
Okay, that would be
We
nice.
already are outgrowing the kitchen here. It's crowded. And so eventually maybe
Yeah.
we find a building and either that has a commercial kitchen or we are doing well enough to put in a commercial kitchen and have our own building.
It's extremely tough to think about that because we love this spot. and we love this. You know, you walk in, windows, you know, and
I'm
it just feels good in here.
I'm sure
you know?
you'll be able to find some like this, and your customer will come with you.
Yeah. And that's the thing we've talked about. We're like, if we did move, we would want to stay downtown. A lot of our customers, if we moved out, like out west edge of town, they're not going to come out there. That's commercial. You know, people like that we're downtown, so we
want to keep the same vibes. I guess I'd say old building.
But
that's just all. You know, we talk a lot.
So, I mean, that's part of the business, though. You constantly gotta look, thinking about the future. Look at the future. I mean, because I never thought about drive-through on coffee shop until COVID hit. Then I was like, because I always liked that feeling of being inside the coffee shop, and then when COVID hit, nobody could go inside anywhere. I was like, boy.
You know, and that's actually something that people say rarely. We do not hear it very often. Once in a great while, somebody says, I wish you had a drive-through. But I think the people that come here, they love that we don't. They like, you know, that you get to come inside and talk to us and see what's in the bakery case. And if you think of us as a bakery,
you gotta go
most
inside.
Bakeries don't have a drive-through.
You got to go inside.
And honestly, that expanding everything, like, sometimes expanding takes away from what your business is, you know, like we're doing well at what we're doing right now. So
the expansion comment is really just because we need a bigger kitchen. That's literally all it comes down to.
And this I'm assuming this is the only kitchen in this building?
There is a kitchen upstairs, but that's just not logical.
I was about to say that's not gonna work. You were talking about, because I'm always worrying about people who work 7 days a week. The burnout is real.
We just hired somebody recently in the past month, and she had past experience, which just helped tremendously, because training somebody to make all the drinks, I mean, it could take a couple months, 3 months, and to get our full-time day off together, I guess you'd say. That was something that we really got comfortable with, having our last part-time employee. And then, that was needed, and it sounds like we're going to get back into that rhythm again, I guess. And really that made us, I think that kind of rejuvenated us for the week, you know. So.
What time you guys usually get here in the morning?
5:45, 6 o'clock-ish.
Oh, okay, that early?
Depends.
Okay, because you open at 7?
Depends on what we have to do. Like if I know I got to do this and this and this and this today, then sometimes we'll get up and get here earlier, but...
Okay.
5:45. 6.
We do a lot of prep, you know, before we go home, or she's always back there getting something ready, like rolls we let rise overnight sometimes, you know. Depending on the situation, but
so when you get in the morning, just throw in the oven.
And a lot of our stuff, like our quiche, for example. Like today, I made like 12 quiche. I make them and fill them, and then I put them in the freezer. So then when we need them, you just take them out and put them in the oven. Same with our scones. I have a day where I just make a ton of dough. It goes in the freezer, and then it just gets taken out and baked. So there's always something that I need to restock, so to say. You know, but for the most part, a lot of it, we try to have a bunch on hand, and then we just take it out as we need it and stuff like that.
What is your most highly selling item in terms of drinks and bakery?
I mean, bakery-wise, I'd say scones and rolls. That's definitely, and Pop-Tarts have become quite the necessity.
If we had those every day, those would probably easily be.
I mean, she made a ton this morning. They're just gone. So. It's kind of crazy. Whatever she puts out, really, especially if it's new, it flies off
I think
the shelf.
the reason why scones and rolls are our top sellers is because we have them every day. A lot of our other stuff kind of rotates, right? So like coffee cake. If I make a coffee cake, it all sells. Cookies, they all sell. Like we just got done with our Christmas cookie fiasco is the best word for it, because we baked and rolled out and cut and decorated over 900 Christmas cookies. It was exhausting.
Which is a lot of decorating of cookies.
Especially because I'm a perfectionist and I want them to look really pretty. And
did you do 900 because that was the order?
Pretty much,
Oh, really?
So we had... we made about 10 dozen additional from what was ordered, and those all sold. Just from people walking in, can I get a dozen cookies?
We did. Out of all the cookies, we did like 111 dozen cookies in December.
That's including regular cookies, like molasses cookies, snickerdoodles, chocolate chip cookies. But it was like 1,131 cookies we sold in December.
Oh, she's about business. She remember
yeah.
exactly.
I wanted to know. We just looked it up. Because I was like, I need to know how many freaking cookies I made these last 2 weeks.
So now you make a lot of stuff out of fly. Have you ever bake something out of fly and it's like, oh, I'm going to put this out?
Oh,
Yes.
And then the customer goes like, whoa, what's this?
So actually, one day, not long after we bought the place, we were sitting here having lunch. We had this chicken salad that I used to make at home all the time. And this lady was like, she had come in and got her coffee and she was doing whatever. And she said, ooh, that looks good. Do you sell that here? And I was like, no, it's just our lunch from home. And he's like, we could try doing like sandwiches, make that chicken salad for the store.
Yeah.
And that's one of our best sellers now.
Oh, really?
So we started doing it and then,
Yeah.
it's people are like, this is the best chicken salad I've ever
See,
had.
the thing is with keeping our menu, I guess you'd say, everything you see when you come in front of you is what we sell. You know, there's nothing like behind the scenes like we got to make or anything, like a sandwich, you know.
Yeah.
But everything, we keep it limited, so everything sells really well. I mean, I doubt, we don't throw away anything.
But there are times, like one time he sent me a recipe for these like blueberry cookies. And I was like, oh, those look good. I'll make them for the store.
Yeah.
I make them, we put them out, they sell.
Yeah, and she'll just be like, I'm making some wild berry crisp, and then we just throw it out there, and it's like,
gone.
yeah, and it's amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think now, too, we're getting to the point where people trust me as like the bakery.
Yeah.
And they're just like, ooh, like, what did she make today? Let's try some of that.
Let's try something
you know?
new.
Well,
Yeah.
even when they pay for an order, they're like, just be creative, you're fine.
You do whatever you want to do.
your
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's good for the baker, too. If somebody say, this is what I
Oh, yeah.
want, you go for it.
It definitely stresses you out a little bit if they're very picky about stuff.
Yeah, I
Versus-
prefer when they're kind of just like, whatever.
Do it,
And
and
they're-
then you can put your creative hat and just go.
Yep.
Anything else I left out? You guys want to talk about the business?
I was kind of going to mention, too, like one thing, like just looking at where this started and where we are now, like I feel like a huge part of that was just like what a lot of people don't know is, okay, so there were many days where we got here at 5:30 in the morning and we left Mason City at 10 o'clock at night.
Whoa.
Like every event that we could go to, I mean, you know, we did the YWCA thing. We were there 2 days in a row, full days. We actually got a hotel room that night and stayed in town because we were doing 2 full days over there, plus having the store open. You know, we also donated like 15 full cheesecakes for the historic building tour. We just donated that because we thought this is 100 and however many people that are going to try our cheesecake, see our sign for our store, you know, and maybe come in. And we were at the farmer's market every Saturday. And so we just really were like, let's pour everything we can into this. Let's go to every event. Let's sign up for every single thing that we can have a booth at, you know, just to really try to get us out there.
Get the name out.
Yeah, and we would do the farmer's market, and then that afternoon or that next day, so many people, oh, I saw you guys at the farmer's market. Or, you know, people who saw us at the historic building coming in, oh my gosh, I had your cheesecake at the historic building tour, you know? So
Nice.
I think that things like that were so simple, really. All it required was our time.
Showing up.
You know? Because there's still people to this day that I'll post something on Facebook and they're like, "Where's this business located?" You know.
Yeah, and
That-
they're from Mason, you know,
Yeah.
and they just don't come downtown or whatever.
That's good news, though.
Yeah.
That means there's still market out there. They haven't been
it's
tapped yet.
Kind of crazy that we, you know, as busy as we are some days, it's like we still get a customer almost every day. I'd say that's never been here.
Yeah, like today
Wow.
alone, I bet I helped 3 or 4 people that you can just tell by what they say that it's their first time here. You know,
Nice.
it's every day. Every day we're still having new people come through the
That's
door.
nice, and I think there's that thing about I rather support my local business before I support the chain business.
Yep.
There's some about that. I need a cup of coffee, so should I go to? I don't know. I don't want to mention the names of the chain coffee shop. Should I go there or should I go Jeter's or 3 on the Tree?
Yep.
So, and then you guys open up on Sunday. Nobody open up on Sunday.
Yeah,
So
we've
some
got
other
that Sunday market.
We're-
going.
Yeah, so you got that Sunday market going too.
Yeah, we're very consistent, 7 to 3 every day. You know, it's just set hours, and we don't mess around with it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've only been closed. I mean, we were closed over Christmas and Thanksgiving, but aside from that, we've only been closed 3 days since we bought the place.
Yeah, like
Just
6 or 7
making sure
days
we're always
total
here.
for, I don't know,
10
8
months.
or 10 months. Yeah.
Because you guys became my Sunday favorite. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, I got to go somewhere.
Yeah,
And it's crazy. Like Saturdays, we have this I want to say regular crowd, but it's so much more than a crowd because it's so many people. You know, like it's a Saturday and I'm like, we're going to see these people and these people and these people and these people. And all those people come, plus tons of people we've seen before, you know, or one of our regulars comes, but they have friends or family from out of town and they bring them in, you know.
Yeah,
it's just,
and coffee shop becomes a meeting spot for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we have people that come here on first dates. We love when that happens.
Oh, yeah?
You can tell.
You say, there you go, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell when they're on a first date or second date, and so then we...
And you guys know he's the keeper.
Yeah.
Bring to the coffee shop for the first date. Yeah, exactly. and also, some people don't have a place to go.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why you will have those regulars. It's like it's a part of their routine.
Yeah, we have a pretty large base of people who are like retired, and they would just come in and sit and drink coffee and sit here for even a couple hours. And some of them don't even. It's like a couple, and they don't even talk to each other. This is just what they do. They come hang out here instead of hang out at home.
Yep,
you know?
yep. Oh yeah, because there's sometimes it's like I can do stuff I want to do at home, but it's like I go do a coffee shop.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we have a single guy customer that comes in every single day. We just you can tell it's his routine. It's like he could do it at home.
Part of life.
He's he's got to do something.
Yeah.
I think he enjoys just.
Yeah, it's a part of life. Like this is what I do every morning, and I gotta be in my routine.
Also, something when we first bought it is a lot of the regulars at that time were like that, like older retired customer base, and we wanted to keep making them feel welcome and not change too much, but also bring in all the other demographic. You know, we didn't have a lot of young people that came
Coming
here.
to the coffee shop.
And now we have tons of both. You know,
good.
We have the retired people who come in and sit on a weekday because they don't have to go to work. We have people that come in with their computer and sit for 3 hours. We have people that come in with friends and sit and hang out. We have tons of people that just stop in before work. We've really got every range of person.
I was talking to Candy at Jeter's one time, and she was telling me this story, and that's why I realized like coffee shop is not just a place people go drink coffee, it's a part of their life. So she was telling me she had this customer who always there, and then all of a sudden did not show up first day, second day.
We've had a situation like this as well.
Third day, she started getting worried, so she called the cops. Like, hey.
I said I told him I was going to call the police and have a welfare check done on our customer.
Yep. So she did and called the cops, and the cops did the welfare check. The guy died in his house.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, wow. So basically, nobody knew.
Yeah. She knew.
But like you guys, you already know your customers. So if somebody here every day and all of a sudden they don't show
our regulars, they'll tell us, I'm going to be on vacation, so you don't see me for.
Yeah. So if they don't show up, you go like, okay, maybe we need to check on this person.
So we had this very elderly gentleman who was coming in every day, and it was kind of this running joke because he was coming and asking me for chocolate chip cookies like every day forever. And I kept saying, I'm busy, I promise I'll make you some chocolate chip cookies. And I finally made them, and he came in and got one, and then he didn't come back. And I thought, well, either he died happy because he got his chocolate chip cookie, or something happened to him. And I was so worried. We affectionately called him Grandpa because we didn't know his name.
Gramps.
And neither of us have like grandparents that were super close to, so we just called him Gramps. And I actually had said, I was like, maybe I should call dispatch and have someone check on him. And it was like 2 months later, here he shows up. And
really?
He walked in and I'm like,
where have you been?
I was so concerned about you. Where were you? I'm like, you got your cookie and then you just stopped. Well, then he told me that they were in Arizona. And I'm like, you gotta let me know. Yeah. And that's another thing too, because you're gonna know about all your regulars. Like, okay, these are snowbirds. They're here on summertime. After summer, they're gone. It's like, so okay, see you in May. Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm leaving anything out, but if I do, we can sit down again some other time. Yeah.
Enjoyed this.
Yep. Thank you for what you guys doing, and we're gonna keep supporting you as much as we can. Yeah, to make sure you keep moving.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.